Happy Devil's Sunday. This is the Woo Report, the Morning Woo edition. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in beautiful New Jersey, inside the bunker, in an undisclosed location, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. What a fine Sunday morning it is today. A football Sunday. Giants going at the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium at 8:15 p.m. Eastern tonight. Jets going against Buffalo tomorrow night. Same place. 8:15. But we're going to talk a little bit Devils hockey today about the offseason additions and subtractions as the season's going to be gearing up. Rookies coming into training camp this week, I believe. Yes, the rookies, possibly draftees. Could there be a prospect that's going to make some noise? The Kraken, this Devils lineup, a stacked 2023-24 New Jersey Devils team. We'll go through everything. Some of the draft picks. Could Alexander Holtz make this team? It's possible. But a lot of work has to be done. I'm a little nervous for the upcoming season. Can they repeat another performance, a historical performance, like build on a historical performance? Like, that's hard to do. But with the youth and talent on this team, it's certainly possible that they can surpass 112 points in the standings. But they've got to play consistent. They've got to play great defense. They've got to have great goaltending. They've got to get their four lines rolling over other NHL teams. And we shall see. But yeah, so let's go over this past offseason. Some of the additions, some of the subtractions, some of the re-signings and all. I think the Devils' cap situation is looking pretty good in terms of this season and the foreseeable future. Because when Jake Sanderson signed that 8-year, $8-point-something deal after showing promise in one season, it certainly makes the Devils' Jack Hughes deal look, I don't know, kind of like a good value bargain. But remember, the Devils were in the same spot. Tom Fitzgerald was in the same spot as Ottawa. You saw glimpses of brilliance of Jack Hughes. Didn't exactly have the greatest rookie season. Matter of fact, it was the most challenging rookie season. Even Jack Hughes alluded to it in the exit interviews that, hey, you know, they called me a bust. Well, yeah, I did bust out 99 points this season. But before that, if you remember, a couple injuries, you had a COVID, shortened season, bunch of coaches changed. Well, somewhere, and then Jack Hughes injured his shoulder, and somewhere down the line, when he comes back, Tom Fitzgerald and Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment and Devils Ownership Group decide to give Jack Hughes 8-8 before he started to blow up. You got to give credit to the Devils there. That was risk. But it set the tone of the salary cap culture. Now, there's no exact science or number because Dougie Hamilton is making $9 million, but Dougie Hamilton's making $9 million a year for the reason of they landed the biggest free agent prize right-handed defenseman, big, strong, with offensive capabilities, especially on the power play. They do not grow on trees. But it also broke the ice on trying to get top talent into New Jersey. Dougie Hamilton was like really the first real domino to fall. Because remember Taylor Hall, how they acquired him? They acquired him through a trade, but not free agency. But there were re-signings this season. Jesper Bratt, under $8 million a year, 8 years. Timo Meier, who I had concerns about because of his agent, Claude Lemieux, because you know Claude Lemieux will stand up for what he believes in, and you know Claude Lemieux does not screw around. But meet Tom Fitzgerald, Devils GM, able to get a deal done. It took a lot of whining, dining. It took a lot. His fellow countryman, Timo Meier, with Nico Hischier. And then you've got Jonas Siegenthaler, Akira Schmid, the Swiss connection, the fans loving Timo Meier. He experienced the playoffs of a Devils-Rangers series going 7. What the New Jersey Devils fans are all about, because Devils fans get a bad rap for not showing up. But in that series, they came out, and boy, did it feel good. And Timo Meier paid the price with a dirty hit from Jacob Trouba. And, you know, he's probably got a chip on his shoulder, although Timo Meier is classier than that to announce it. But I expect some revenge coming back to the New York Rangers that way. Just want to say hello to the YouTube Live, JP, Bachakaloop, Dennis asking which rookies are going to Buffalo this week. We shall see. But on we go. So we're talking about right now the additions and subtractions. So a couple of the re-signings. Okay. Also, just Mikey McLeod, 1-year deal. Nathan Bastian, a 2-year deal. Some of the restricted free agents. Let me tell you, they're good value. And even Nathan Bastian even said, the joke's on them, because we would have signed for anything anyway. Yeah, because they want to be part of this team. And there is an attraction to be a New Jersey Devil. And the media is showing some love. 13 games that are going to be on national television. But let's talk about now the trade acquisitions. Because Tyler Toffoli, in exchange for Yegor Sharangovich, look, I wouldn't say it didn't work out, but I think it's a good situation that helps both sides, both Calgary and New Jersey, and Sharangovich and Toffoli. Toffoli, a veteran, a Stanley Cup champion. They add another Stanley Cup champion onto this roster for that experience. A top 6 forward that can score 30+. All right. Sharangovich has a nice upside. Get him a reasonable price for the Flames. Plus, they get the 3rd-round pick. Toffoli has an affordable cap hit, about $4 million, and will be inserted into the lineup. No learning curve, other than just trying to get used to his line mates. Joey B says, thanks for all you do, Sam Wu. Great Devils news content. I hate the word content, but thank you, Joey. And updates. Much appreciated from us if you're area from Colorado. Yeah, Colorado. Congratulations to the Colorado Buffaloes for beating Nebraska, but a Big Ten team. But me being a Penn Stater, once you meet Penn State, it's all over. Colorado will get their asses kicked. Anyway, moving on. Again, Toffoli, not the greatest skater, especially when the Devils are kind of a run-and-gun team, but he's a sniper. He will finish. And if he's got centers like Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes to give him the puck, or if he's out in front of the net, he will finish. And that's where the Devils are getting. More depth on the top six. Think how stacked it is right now with Hischier and Hughes down the middle. There's really no line one and line two. It is A and B lines, right? With Dawson Mercer, with Jesper Bratt, with Timo Meier, add in Toffoli, top six, no problem. They're gonna have a lot of fun in the no fun zone of the opposing team. JP says Stanley Cup experience is priceless for us now. Yeah. And it takes a lot of the pressure off of Andre Palat. Because Palat, another Stanley Cup champion, leader. I never thought of Palat as a top six forward on this team just because the way the team plays, how the top six plays. But Palat on the third line with Holla, possibly Holtz. Nolan Foote is going to challenge for a spot. And you look at the fourth line of McLeod, Bastian, another free agent signing of Thomas Nosek, 1 year, $1 million. This is a great bottom six. Because the bottom six carried this team in the playoffs. Case in point. The top six between the Rangers and the Devils kind of negated each other. It kind of equalized out. It equaled out. Zeroed itself out. It really became the bottom six of the Rangers versus the bottom six of the New Jersey Devils. And that's where the Devils had the edge. Just barely. But that's where they had the edge. And I love this play to death when Palat was by the boards, willing himself to get that puck in the offensive zone, being harassed by the New York Rangers. And he got that pass off to Mikey McLeod. And Mikey McLeod said, this is our time, and it's right now. And put it in for a 1-0 lead, which was the biggest goal of the series against the Rangers, that game 7, because you knew that the Devils were going to win. You knew that the momentum was going all New Jersey, all the way, and the Rangers could do absolutely nothing about that. So what did Tom Fitzgerald do? You know, he got Thomas Nosek. Remember Curtis Lazar? Cap-friendly deal. There is depth on that bottom six. And depth is good because injuries do happen. Players do go in slumps. And a lot of these players on the bottom six are interchangeable where they can play in the... a lot of these players on the bottom six are interchangeable where they can play in the top six. In case there's an injury to perhaps Dawson Mercer. Eric Holla would gladly fill in that spot. You can move with an extra centerman in Nosek that you could actually move him up on the third line. You want to keep McLeod and Bastian together. But there's so many things that Lindy Ruff can do with his team. Also, another addition was Travis Green as assistant coach or associate head coach. I don't know what his title is because Andrew Brunette left for Nashville. Job well deserved for Andrew Brunette. But, you know, I'll tell you, Travis Green, I hope he can put a good power play together because that power play should be lethal for what the Devils have right now. Now, some key departures here. And aside from Sharangovich, so far Tomas Tatar has remained as a free agent because right now he's probably... I think this is more about winning a championship or finding a team that can use his services, but it has to be at the right price because a lot of the cap space, a lot of these teams that are contenders are already spent. Miles Wood, 6 years, $15 million to Colorado. Great for Miles. Good for him. Ryan Graves, 6 years, $27 million, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Penguins, trying to be a copycat of the New Jersey Devils. Damon Severson, sign and trade to Columbus, which that pick, third-round pick that came back to the Devils was used for Toffoli. Riley Walsh, again, the pipeline is so full that Riley Walsh had to be traded to Boston. Riley Walsh doing well in Utica. And Mackenzie Blackwood traded to San Jose. And also Jonathan Bernier retiring. But, and I've said this many times in the past 3 weeks, that John Marino is going to be the key, because right now you have Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec that are looking to replace Severson and Graves. Not so much Nemec, because he's going to have to outplay Colin Miller, who the Devils got, I believe, via trade with the Dallas Stars. Yes, from the Dallas Stars. Now, Colin Miller is a serviceable bottom third pairing defenseman. Will Nemec be able to outperform him, or would it be better that Nemec has another year or at least more time in Utica? The great thing here, and Tom Fitzgerald alluded to this, is that there is no pressure here for Nemec to be in the lineup. And even Lindy Ruff alluded to that having two rookie defensemen, he's not really too keen on that, coming in at the same time. Ben G says, hey, Sam. Ben G, welcome to the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast on YouTube, you can go to our YouTube channel at Let's Go Devils. Subscribe. Set the alerts when this live Morning Woo is on, giving you Devils hockey on a football Sunday. First week of the NFL season taking place today. NY Davey says they have to improve their special teams this season. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Their penalty kill was much better down the stretch. I think Ryan McGill did a great job. I think there's more work that needs to be done. Benji says agrees that Nemec should stay in the AHL, no rush. And there was talk about that. We talked about this with our good friend Chico Resch of the podcast, that about Akira Schmid not having the proper time to develop on his own, like Marty Brodeur did when he was in Utica back in the day. That a year in Utica, would be beneficial for player development. But at the same time, Akira Schmid seems like a cool cat. I think he's got the NHL figured out, how cool he is. Unless Akira Schmid knows that he needs to work on some things on his game to make him a more better, possibly elite goalie. Because he's proven to us that his nerves, he can handle anything. Well, how about some of the games that he had to come in as a backup when Vanacek went down with injury? Or Blackwood. He was like, no problem. Hold my water bottle. I'll go in and just shut him down. So right now, the Connor Hellebuck, all that stuff, all those rumors, I think it has been devalued. The Devils don't need Hellebuck. Would it be nice? Absolutely, but at what price? But the Devils are doing just fine, and you have the luxury of the next few months in October, November, and December, and January to find out what these goaltenders are really about. Was it a one-hit wonder, or are they going to improve as a tandem, Vanacek and Schmid? Do you really want to send Schmid down to the AHL when he's been at the NHL? It all depends who you talk to. And it's not a knock on Schmid, but when you rob a goaltender 1 year of his development year, where he should have been in Utica with Nico Daws, I think he deserves another year in Utica to really fine-tune his game. But at the same time, man, Akira Schmid he was great in the playoffs. You can't fault him against Carolina. The whole team was just, again, that's where the experience comes in. They just played the Rangers Game 7 on a Monday, and then on a Wednesday they're playing the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. Now, who was the dope that made up that schedule? While the Hurricanes were well rested. Can't blame Akira Schmid on that. I thought Akira Schmid should have been in Game 4 against the Carolina Hurricanes. No offense to Vitek Vanacek, but he didn't impress me that much in Game 3. The offense won Game 3, not Vitek Vanacek. Game 5, you can't. I mean, Akira Schmid stood on his head. With all the additions and subtractions on the forwards and the defense, but in terms of goaltending, I'm okay with it. Sometimes doing nothing does more good for you than actually having to do something. Give Tom Fitzgerald credit. At least he probably kicked the tires about Connor Hellebuck. And then it turns out there's simply no room or money for Hellebuck. On paper, it would have put the Devils into Stanley Cup contention, not just a playoff contender, a Stanley Cup contention had they got Hellebuck. And one would argue, what more do you want beyond Stanley Cup contender? Problem here, Hellebuck wants a long-term deal. He wants a monster deal. And it could be the piano that weighs on the salary cap culture of the New Jersey Devils that Tom Fitzgerald doesn't want. Like what Corey Schneider's doing for another year. I believe 2 more years of Ilya Kovalchuk. Benji says stability has value. Arnunia says the last year's goalie moves didn't work out great. Maybe not doing anything will turn out to be a great move. And Benji also alluded to that Akira Schmid is 23 years old. Yeah, I mean, he's still young. And again, that's what you want. Remember Aiden Hill? That guy came out of nowhere. He was a backup of a backup trade from San Jose. Led the Vegas Golden Knights to Stanley Cup championship and got a nice little big fat contract. The jury remains if he's really that good, but good for Aiden Hill for getting that big contract. But big contracts that don't work out are terrible for a team salary cap. But right now, the Devils are in really good position. If Nico Daws, if he can recover from that hip surgery, with Akira Schmid, Vitek Vanacek has a very cap-friendly 2 more years, I believe, on his contract with the Devils. You know Vitek Vanacek wants to show that he is a full-time number 1 goalie, like any goalie would want to be. But the tandem of Vanacek and Schmid, I like it for now. Let's see how they play. If Schmid is in the lineup with the big club. Also, you got Tyler Brennan. You also got that monster of a goalie that's diamond in the rough in their prospect pool. I forgot his name. It's like Matsik or something like that, or Mataraz or something like that. Sorry, I forgot the name. But yeah, and also don't forget on defense, Kevin Ball. Now, Kevin Ball, I alluded to John Marino, but Kevin Ball, that size, that reach, his determination is his greatest asset. I think Kevin Ball is going to be huge. No pun intended. Or was there a pun? I don't know. But he's going to be huge on that blue line with Colin Miller or Simon Nemec. But that's for sure. Losing Ryan Graves, you lose some of that size. But Kevin Ball, if he comes into his own, that's why the Devils traded for him with that Taylor Hall trade, the trade that keeps on giving. Dougie Hamilton and Kevin Ball will bring you size on that blue line. And let Hughes roam around. Let Simon Nemec roll around. John Marino is the stopper back there. He's going to be looked for him to be really, I really feel like John Marino is going to bring his game to a much more elite level, both on the ice and leadership-wise. He's the kind of guy that doesn't say much, except for he puts it all out on the ice. And again, I can't get that image out of my head, how he's all bloodied up, last penalty kill of the season. He's all banged up 2 minutes prior, getting the puck to the face, and he said, no problem, plug me up, get me in. I'm going to try to kill off this penalty. And that kind of grit is infectious. That kind of grit will help the blue line overall to minimize the impact of Graves and Severson leaving for, well, pretty nice contracts. I congratulate them on it. But I'll tell you, NY Davies says Graves never really used his size. No, I don't think he did. But I think Kevin Ball will. But getting back to John Marino is going to be the stopper. He's going to be the guy that's going to negate and shut down top elite forwards playing the New Jersey Devils, especially during the playoffs. And that bodes well for Luke Hughes. All right, so that's pretty much our 2023 Devils offseason edition of Subtractions. We'll get more in terms of the rookies. One of the things that I didn't really talk about, but I'll probably save it for another Will report, are the guys that got drafted. Some good nuggets there. Lenny Hamenaho and Cam Squires. Cole Brown. Some of these players. Watch out for the Buffalo rookie tournament as well. Going to keep an eye on that. That happens every year, the prospect tourney. I'm looking forward to it. The Devils are going to lose a little in their pipeline in terms of drafting because of the Timo Meier deal. But right now, I think they have enough to develop players. Josh Philman is another sleeper, another 6th-round pick, kind of like Jesper Bratt. Could he actually be a New Jersey Devil and be an impactful player? I think so. I don't care about the size because in today's NHL, you can work around it with your speed and skill. It should be good, folks. It should be good. Want to thank all those tuning in, dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes as the Let's Go Devils podcast offseason continues. But we're about to start up very soon. Season 7 of the Let's Go Devils podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern, will start on September 17th. Beer Baron is on he's in Florida in Disney World on a bachelor party somewhere. Shorts Guy's printing up T-shirts. Scotty is still doing his thing at SiriusXM Liquid Metal. Me, I'm preparing for the season. A lot of things happening. We will be traveling, by the way. We will be traveling. And, we're going to be doing some... obviously, we're going to be at American Whiskey, our favorite place, before we go to the games at Prudential Center. But we're going to be traveling on the road. We'll be going to possibly a microbrewery near you. Max, you're tuning in late. Yeah, if you ever need a window, go to Max. Max will hook you up with windows. He'll even talk a little hockey as well. Yes, coming to a city near you, the Let's Go Devils podcast, as we will be traveling quite a bit this season. So if you got a bar, we may be at your bar. If it's a microbrewery specifically, we may be at that brewery. Doing pregame, postgame podcasts. Could be bringing some celebrities. I don't know. How do you do? All right, so going to hit the music. Also, check out my other podcast that I produce, Football Primetime. It is a NFL Sunday today. Are you a Jets fan? Are you a Giants fan? Are you a Dallas Cowboys fan? Are you a Packers fan? Are you an NFL fan? Do you like the Patriots like Nick Villano? You know, Vinny likes the Bears. The Bears. Max likes the Eagles. Anyway, enough of that. I'll see you later tomorrow sometime. Not sure if we're going to do a podcast tonight. I have to talk to Scotty. I think we're going to bag it. But we did the morning woo all here on the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.